press record. I've never heard that happen. That's scary. Okay. Just gonna be in the frame here. Y'all. Okay. Welcome. Welcome to the nutrition education. We're doing 6 weeks of this. You're only required to do 3. But if you come for all 6, even better. You'll have the full education, top to bottom. And my hope is that you'll take something hopefully new out of this. If not, it'll just reaffirm everything you already know about nutrition, which would be cool too. Okay? So for those of you who don't know, everyone generally knows who I am. I'm Davin. My title here is Registered Dietitian. All that means is I really like talking about food. Like, if I get the chance to, I will. So I appreciate y'all obliging to let me do so today. Before we go through introductions, I just want to kind of let you know how I like to run these sessions. It's a lot like a game of tennis. You guys know how tennis works.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How does tennis work specifically?
Really well.
If you have to explain it to an alien from outer space, how does tennis work?
Hi, I'm the alien.
How does tennis work?
I mean, how does it work?
Yeah, how would you explain?
Rules, or do you want to?
Let me just go on that sense. Yeah, what's the goal, or how do you play tennis?
You practice a ton.
Yeah.
It's about getting a tennis ball over the net. The court is set up in different areas. There's back court. There's 2.
Even simpler than that.
Get the ball over the net back
Yes.
and forth.
There it is, back and forth. So that's what we're doing today. We're just playing tennis.
Okay.
If I send something out,
Ping pong, you could do the same.
yes. Send something out, you always send in something back to me. We go back and forth. Because as much as I love talking at everybody, I really don't. And I'd like this to just be a back and forth. Hello, welcome. Here for the nutrition? Yeah. Okay, awesome. Grab a seat. We're just about to get started.
Howdy, neighbor.
As I was telling them, my name's Davin. I love food. I hope you love food as well. If you do, if you don't, that's what we're here to talk about. Okay. So we'll go around and do some introductions. We'll go through the people in the room here, then we'll check in with our friends through Zoom. And from there, so let's just check in, name, how you're doing, and tell me something about food or nutrition that's challenging you right now, or you'd like to improve. Very simply. Okay? John?
Hi, I'm John.
Hey, John.
Hey.
I'm sore and tired. And nutrition gives me lots of anxiety, and I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to it, so that's why I'm here. Yeah. Like, that's just the whole thing. I grew up with a big mom. I mean, she's skinny now, but like, she didn't teach me how to eat right, and I have no idea what I'm doing. It gives me lots of anxiety, so that's why I'm here. Yeah.
I think in that same breath, a lot of us receive inadequate nutrition when we're young, and even as we get older, right? Like, where are the conversations around nutrition happening that aren't on social media and aren't through like television, right? So here's an opportunity to build on whatever we learned early or starting to develop.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean. Sally.
So I'm Sally. I'm feeling good. My whole upper body's gonna hurt tomorrow, but that's a different story. I grew up with a mom who always told me I was too heavy. Always told me that I could be thin. Always told me that I had to. Then I had children, and then she criticized me because my children weren't thin. And what am I doing to make them thin? And so I never feel like my weight is ever right, ever.
Yeah.
And so that ties into food.
Mm-hmm.
And I go through phases where I eat real, and I do eat very well and very healthfully. My husband's Japanese, and he makes all the food in the house. He's very good cook. And but when you have a mother, you end up binging because you're hiding. You have to hide when you're eating something that you love.
Thanks for sharing. We will talk about in future classes, because weight, as some of us might have experienced in our life, sometimes measures your health, or society tells us it's a measure of your health, but even more deeply, it's a measure of your worth. So
and your willpower.
Yes.
Like if you know, why don't you have the willpower to not eat ice cream, even though it's one of the main things that give you pleasure.
Totally. So balancing all these ideas, or introducing maybe some new ones about food that we haven't experienced much.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sally.
Rating, I love food, and all food, any food, especially ice cream. And
Nice. Favorite ice cream?
That's a hard question, because like I'm finding new ice creams.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But like I've been really hooked on like the last month. This California pistachio flavored gelato made by Tony.
Yeah.
$5 per pint.
Everything
It's so worth it. And it's not even really that bad for you. Like I was looking at the nutritional facts, because I do that. I look at the nutritional facts. Everything. And it's actually not horrible for you as far as like an ice cream kind of. But yeah, I've dealt with weight issues my whole life ever since I was a kid. I was 180 pounds by the time I was 8 years old, so I've always had self-esteem issues and weight issues. So I feel that right here, bro. And I'm on a nutritional journey. So I came to learn how to eat.
Awesome. Glad to hear. All right, let's turn to our Zoom friends. Bonnie, why don't you check in with us first?
You're on mute, Bonnie.
There we go. I got it. Sure. I'm Bonnie. Hi. This is Jack.
Yeah.
Say hi. Yeah. And nutrition. I have a really complicated relationship with nutrition. Like I understand that it's important and I'm really passionate about it. But also I grew up in an environment where like I was told that I was like eating too much and that I was fat for pretty much all my life, even when I wasn't. And like that's definitely had an impact on me and the way I see food. I definitely see foods as like good food and bad food, as much as I try to like challenge that belief within myself. And yeah, a lot of times it just makes me really stressed out to like I either want to eat everything or not eat anything at all. So yeah, I think I have a lot to learn from this, so it'll be really interesting.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Bonnie. Randy, let's check in with you, bud.
Hi, I'm Randy. I'm at home and I'm feeling well. I have Wednesdays off now, so I'm kind of happy about that. So I just kind of got some stuff done today. I went grocery shopping, did a few things around the house, and you said the question was, what is one thing I'm struggling with nutrition?
Struggling or like to work on?
I think it would be a good idea for me to know like how much I should be eating, because I'll either eat a lot or I won't eat very much during the day. But other than that, I have a good grasp on certain things, so I'm just kind of open with whatever is going to happen with these classes. So
awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. My name's Davin again. Really excited to be here with you all. Glad you decided to show up today, and hopefully learn something new today. I want to start us off by just having an open-ended, respond however you'd like. I'm going to throw it out in the middle. Anyone can respond. But just maybe talk about how nutrition has evolved throughout your life. So think about different key moments. So if we're in recovery, maybe start to think about what your nutrition looked like at that point in time. And then maybe early in recovery, and then so on and so forth. If we didn't go through recovery, maybe think about our own journey and think about how food has changed. Additionally, I want to challenge you all and think about someone else who you know is in recovery and how their nutrition has changed throughout that period too. Okay, because ideally we find some key traits of the changes that someone might experience. We can observe those, just very curiously observe non-judgmentally what those changes were. Okay? All right. So I'm gonna have you two in the comments just kind of type up an answer, and then we'll have you check back in. And then I'm gonna have you three right here kind of just discuss amongst yourself as a group. Okay? Just go ahead. Okay.
Great.
If I'm honest,
About a minute.
I'm not really even in recovery. I'm not I've never been addicted to any drugs.
You're a woman.
I mean, that's what I've been told. I mean, don't get me wrong. I partied when I was 18, like everybody else did, but I never had to go to rehab. I just stopped one day and decided that
Stop.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah.
As far as my eating habits go, I used to eat way too much, and I'm way closer to anorexic. So, yeah, it's terrible. That's just honest.
Yeah. So I love food. Always have, always will. But I've just been trying to not ingest so many calories, and I've been doing protein, so I ingest a lot of protein, but not ingesting very many calories. Like I did math the other day, at most I will ingest between 1,200 and 1,500 calories a day. Now, yeah, it's not that much. When I come here, twice a day. And so and I'm constantly going. I'm constantly doing something, or too busy to be able to sit down and actually eat, other than when I get home at night. And that's when I actually eat that meal. But, so I just do protein bars, that sort of.
And then one small deal, you try to eat a bunch because it's only your own meal of the day, but it's your first time eating all day, so you can only eat a little bit. And then the rest you throw away. And then you wake up the next morning feeling sad, and then you work all day and you're busy at work, so you forget to eat, right? And so you don't eat, and then you show up to FTR and you have one lousy protein shake out of the fridge, and then you drink a water bottle, and then you do it again the next day.
Yeah.
That's it. I feel it in my soul. That's literally my diet to a T.
Well, I'm older than you folks and gone through, I can't tell you how many different ways of eating I've tried. Like metabolism. This one doctor did this change your whole metabolism. So when I was in my 40s, I went. There was a metabolism diet. It was incredibly restricted. You start out really restricted, and then everything from that to the I can't remember the name of all the ones that you know about. Miami.
There's a lot.
Yeah, all
Beach,
these, Fat Beach,
Yep.
there's just eating meat and greens, there's
Isn't that keto?
just eating, yeah.
They
Well,
just rename them.
yeah, and
That's all.
all these different ones. And I was diagnosed in my 40s with a start of a fatty liver. So when you get that diagnosis and you're in your 40s, it's like you're supposed to, you're not eating well. You're fatty liver. And so I did it, and I lost a lot of weight, but I didn't feel strong. I hated it. I was just like, if this is how I have to live the rest of my life, not being able to enjoy food the way I enjoy food, and I didn't know, is it worth it? Seriously? So, and so a lot of what I've done with my diet has to do with different health things. So I had a very funky liver panel, and they want, and I'm not eating any no gluten. And because of my liver panel, it's like I have an alcoholic liver, but I've never been a drinker. And so one of the things they do is you don't eat gluten. And it actually has changed my panel. We know that that's what I have I don't eat any gluten. I was able to do that because it was my health, that part of my health was important enough.
I eat so many sandwiches.
But I don't eat any gluten anymore. And I've been off it since March. And there's a definite, my whole digestive system is better, and I don't get any more migraine headaches. Not eating gluten. But, so when you've done that for years and years and years, and I just want to get to a place where I'm happy with, my strength, and that I fit in my clothes that I love, and I can still go to New York and eat at a really incredible restaurant and not feel like, okay, now I'm like a bad person. Like, okay, I'm going to pay for this. It's weird. Food should be joyful.
Yeah, no, for sure. I like hate myself for what I eat, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
It shouldn't be that way. And that's why I'm here.
And our whole society, and I grew up in the age of Twiggy.
I can't tell you.
Okay, Twiggy was in the 60s. It's when the whole image of women changed. It had changed in the 1920s, flappers, changed again for Twiggy. So I was a teenager when Twiggy was a teenager. And that was what you were supposed to look like. You were supposed to be
Flat-chested British model?
flat-chested, no curves. You shouldn't have anything. You shouldn't be able to.
She looks like Sandra Duvall, like off the Shining.
That sounds like a 12-year-old girl, not a woman.
She looked like a 12-year-old girl, and so that, and we unfortunately in Twiggy's 60s, it hadn't changed.
It's definitely still the ideal.
I know, and I'm like, wait a minute, that is just, first of all, if you want to get pregnant and have children, you can't if you're that, it's.
You could even round that back to bone density, right?
Oh, well, that's not, yeah. And what got me coming here was my endocrinologist telling me I have got to start doing weight training.
This chick?
That's her now. She's older.
This one?
She looks reasonably, look at her when she was really young.
This one?
Yeah.
So flat-chested British chick? No.
Yeah,
no.
and so, but
but
women have hips, that women have.
You get it? No.
It's we're not doing. Then you look at the period of like Rubens, the painter, and all the women are voluptuous, and we don't see that as beautiful anymore, which is a shame. So
the beliefs that we have right now in society are often influenced by the beliefs we previously held.
Right.
There are various continuations, and it's always important to look back about maybe how our parents viewed their bodies and how our parents view food, and start to question that. Not turn our backs on it, but say, hey, maybe at the point in time, that's what they knew, and maybe they didn't know a lot. They didn't have a dietitian they could talk to. They didn't have other people who made them feel safe about their bodies and about food. So just have some compassion around there.
Yeah.
Sure. How about us two over here? Do we have anything that we came up with? You want to summarize what you had written?
Yeah, I definitely can. My diet's changed a ton from over the years of going to treatment, learning things, getting out of treatment. So what I put in the little writing was when I was in treatment, which I hear this from a lot of people too, men and women, that I'm getting fat, I'm in treatment, and I gained a lot of weight when I was in treatment as well, just because you can't really pick and choose what you eat. And so I pretty much just ate everything when I was in treatment, really not focusing on a diet or eating mindfully. When I got out of treatment, and we've talked a little bit about this, Davin, when I got out of treatment, I had a lot of responsibilities and stuff I had to do, like IOP, making it to places on the bus, and not really having an opportunity to sit down and cook my own food. And so, ramen noodles, several ramen noodles, and, some packages of tuna in my backpack, or 7-Eleven pizza on the way home, was kind of what I was eating for quite some time. And transitioning into where I'm at now, like I do have a lot more balance in other areas of my life, so I can sit down and cook my own food and enjoy that. And then I can also feel the benefits of not eating 7-Eleven pizza and ramen noodles all the time.
Thanks, Randy. Bonnie, anything to share?
Yeah, I'll say I probably have similar eating patterns to like what I had when I was growing up. One of my parents was disabled growing up, so like we didn't really have meal, and like it was complicated. Like we didn't really have meals cooked, so there wasn't a lot of structure. But I don't think I've ever like really figured that habit out. And that's kind of carried on, and like there were times that I thought that I was eating healthy. Like when I was a college athlete, I tried to like count my calories and stuff, but really I was like surviving on protein shakes and cocaine, and it wasn't like it wasn't healthy. And spam musubi, which is delicious, but like you can't survive on that shit. And now I think like, I mean, I'll admit, like, really right now, like, I'll have a Red Bull for breakfast and I won't eat for the rest of the day, and then I'll eat meal prep, and then, like, that's it, kind of. Maybe, like, a handful of nuts sometime during the day, but I work in, like, a really busy clinic, so I don't have a ton of time. I could have time to eat if I wanted to, if I, like, planned ahead and, like, structured my meals. But it's definitely an area that I need to grow in and need to work on. A little chaotic.
Yeah, totally. And to that point, I always want to make it very clear that wherever you're at in your life, if you're in recovery or not, nutrition is always a form of self-care that we can implement, but it might not be our number one priority, especially if you're early in recovery. There are so many things you need to focus on and prioritize in your life. Nutrition is always a complement to that process, okay? It is very clear that if you're in recovery, having good nutrition can keep you sober, help you make better decisions. But with everything that everyone said so eloquently, so very specific to you, one thing, or a couple of things actually, but one thing stands out to me is that health, as many of you described it, has been a moving target in our lives. So we're trying to be healthy. We don't lack determination. We don't lack effort. We're really trying. We're really making strides in a direction, or we're at least curious about it. But we don't know how to get there. Right?
Okay, devil, I see.
That was perfectly timed. So that moving target of health is so difficult, right? How can I be healthy if that continually changes, right? The positive thing is with what I'm about to share you, this is a long-standing definition, and many professionals in nutrition, we can all agree that these habits, these behaviors, not only support recovery and sobriety, but also support energy levels, mood, long-standing health, bone health, all of the things you're interested in. This contributes to it. But what about calories? But what about this nutrient? I heard this, that, this, and that. Trust me, we can go all day with that and make it really complicated. That's what I went to school for. The benefit here is I look through all of these things. We look through all of these things that exist because that's our job. And we bring it in a nice little package and say, hey, this is what you need to focus on. These are the building blocks. And down the road, yeah, all those other little details become really important. But these things I'm about to share you, They're so fundamental. They're so fundamental that if you have them, everything else becomes much easier. Okay, let's use like a weightlifting example before, right? Vicky will never let you just load a bar up crazy, put it over your head, and start shaking in a circle, right? Before you get to that, you have to be able to hinge your hips or swing a kettlebell or progression, right?
Or before you can swing a kettlebell,
Totally,
Yes.
totally. And I'm going to use this word, but none of that is sexy. There's nothing sexy or interesting or cool, or I can't interest you with those types of things. Everyone wants to do the cool, trendy things in nutrition. What I'm offering in this sense is here are some basics. You can walk out that door today or shut off Zoom today and start to practice or start to build on, okay, if we're already there.
You have my card. Let's do it.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to pull up a handout for you guys. I'm going to pass out a handout for you three here.
I'll take it.
And these
I'll
are
do my dinner tonight off it.
basics. Okay.
Well, there's my first mistake.
Not mistakes, just things to practice. Just things to practice.
Cereal works.
Yes, seriously. The protein, if you're putting milk.
Hey guys, I might have to stop and start this again.
I always have protein in milk.
Milk's
I
great protein.
I live off milk. Like honestly, like I would say I'm close to anorexic, but I drink tons and tons of milk and I eat one meal a day, and that's it.